Let's talk about Foley. So, Follie, she's really good. I put 4 format onto her. Right now, I'm using 1 duration, 1 strength, parkour, just for my preference, and 2 casting speed. Makes it real comfortable. So her abilities, her passive is very nice. Basically, you're always going to be generating health and energy orbs whenever you kill enemies that are inked. Um, and you're always going to be inking. Her one is her reposition tool slash 4-ish seconds of iframes, um, which is funny because it says drop through an inky frame, so an iframe, right, to be invulnerable. It's really, really good. Uh, for some reason, I saw some players saying that it wasn't, which that this is might be her best ability, right? Because you literally just press it and reposition yourself, get some breathing room, and keep going. Shadowgraph is her most unique ability, right? You have a gear wheel with a whole bunch of stuff that I'll just quickly go through, give you my thoughts, and it's really good. There's a couple in there that I think should be swapped out for some better stuff, but yeah. Her 3 is her self portrait. You get damage reduction on it, and basically she just draws herself in ink, and you see a clone. Kind of sort of like Saren's clone, but it gets bigger whenever you kill um, enemies inside of the radius pool. And her 4th is worthless. It's worthless. It slows down gameplay. It's it, it's a CC slash damage, but for the enemies that you want to CC, they're invulnerable. Eximus, some high target stuff. So you're just going to be CCing mobs, which you're killing in a second anyway. So this will be your subsume slot, which is great because it's on your 4. And you can slot precision intensify to boost the damage of whatever you want to put in here. Ideally, you want to go with a roar build, and this is what I have so far. I'm debating or not whether to put one more forma, but this is very comfortable for me. You get like a minute of roar with concentration. You could obviously format right here, put prime continuity, get some more duration. You don't even need rolling guard. I just find it super comfortable. You could even slot in prime, fast deflection for when your shield breaks. Just hit your 1, and now you are back to almost full shield with brief respite. If you're running any auger mods on your secondary as well. So yeah, or you could just put more range here with auger reach, which again generates shield on cast. So I find this super comfortable. You're never gonna run out of energy. Molt augmented boosts your strength up to where you're gonna get the 90% damage reduction when you're using her 3, which is pretty good. But in most missions, you're gonna be moving, so you're not really going to be casting this a lot unless you're camping in certain mission types. It is good for bosses, though. So You pop this down, you get a nice damage reduction. Now, I was thinking of putting adaptation here just to test out how good the damage reduction is, but I don't think it's needed. However, I will test that and see if it's better than rolling guard. But pure rolling guard with this and this, you're getting about 7 seconds of invulnerability, right? So if you rolling guard on a shield break, wait till the cooldown starts and then hit your 1. Rolling guard is cooldown already. And then you could literally, the way you play, you could literally have infinite iframes. And then just use Vazarin as well. If you think your energy is going to be self-sustaining, use Vazarin every 7 to 10 seconds. You're not going to be not out of your iframes, which is amazing. Um, it's no Revenant, but when you're going up against those super bosses, um, it really comes in clutch. So I am using the Ogress with her. Um, Only because, the heat patches detonate her barrels. That way you could just, spam barrels for a couple, whenever you shoot this. And it's actually really nice. So, let's go through her 2 real quick so you can see what's here. So you have her barrel. It also comes with a random status, which is good. You hit it, it explodes for a lot of damage. Arc Trap. So she spawns one of those arc traps that you see in missions that inflict electricity procs on you. And this scales as well with enemies. And this is very powerful. Like, really powerful. You can cast 3 at a time. And they last... Well, they last on how much your duration is. My duration is 30 something seconds. So if I literally coat them with this, cast down 2, they're dead. They're dead. The Electrofox will literally fry their brains out. And that's level 235 prep the heavy gunners. So they are wonderful for when you're tired of spamming your barrels. You got your rocket propelled grenade launcher, your RPG right here. Everyone is fond of this. It is very strong, especially with Roar. It does have a slight cooldown, which is okay, 15 to 20 seconds, not that bad. Amphers are okay as well. They're good in alchemy. If you didn't know, you can proc whatever the element is on enemies. So let's just see the damage. I believe these also scale with enemies. So let's coat them. Throw down some amphors. Pick them up. Wow. Amazing. 4.8 million heat damage is nuts. Get cold. Yeah, 4.3 million. So those are really good. They're basically grenades. They're basically grenades that you can use. I wish they didn't have a cooldown though. Right, 30-second cooldown. Because yeah, spawning these a lot. A lot of people want grenades in the game. So look at that. guy saw 17.5 million. That is outrageous damage that these things do. So don't sleep on them. Next up we have the Death Orb. Look at this thing. This is great. It does have a hidden benefit where if your allies have prime frames, it does work like how it is in the Void, so it does proc energy for them, which is really nice. You know, you're going to spam radiation procs on enemies with this, and it does quite a bit of work. You know, you could pair it with Arcane Fallout and just keep spawning. Like, if you go in and just spawn for your teammates, like, look, it's not too bad damage, right? It's not too bad. But you're always, if you have that Arcane on, it'll just spawn universal orbs for everyone. So, you know, Follie is great for just constant orb generation for your team. Just fantastic. Coralizer armament, it's okay. You know, I think this is in Void Armageddon. Let's see what it does. See if I could let's see what the damage is. So looks pretty good. But you know, all of these enemies are standing still. But it does look pretty good, right? You just zap them down with cold procs. So it's not too bad. However, I don't know if you're going to be using that all too often. But you never know. That's one of the ones that you could replace, and I'd be fine with it. Loke Surge gives you a random buff. I forgot all the buffs. I have to read the patch notes and see. But one of the best ones, if you're affinity farming, you get a bonus 200% affinity. Secondary weapons deal red crits. So yeah, it has all of the buffs that typically the Loke Surge has without the downside of Xmas spawning. So you want to always spawn that in first on any mission, just to give a team-wide buff to everyone. I do think though there is one where there is one buff that hurts shield gating, so keep that in mind. Lost Spirit is the little boy from Zariman, where you could spawn in and he'll try to lead you to any treasure loot, you know, like medallions or I-10 sculptures and stuff like that through the mission. So it's always nice to have. It's basically replacing Golden Instant. So if you just feel like farming stuff, use him. He's great. Universal ammo. It's universal ammo, right? It spawns universal ammo for your duration. And yeah, this is great. You plop that down and everybody's comfortable. Pull out your arc gun and go to town. Or, you know, if you're a user like me with the Yokers, this is great to just have. You'll never run out of ammo. Launchpad is pretty silly, you know. Sure. Yeah, we could bounce around. It's so great. But yeah, I'm not feeling this. This is another one DE could replace, and I'd be fine with. Now, if it had the vector pad, that would be a lot better than the launch pad, right? Sure, it launches you farther, but like, I would rather have the vector pad. So, yeah, bounce around. Let's see, life support is great in survival and useless everywhere else. So if you like doing survival, this is pretty good. It does have a cooldown of 3 minutes, but you know, pair that with the other life support and survival, and you're pretty much good and self-sustaining with your life support. Power cell for your excavation missions, which is great. It has a cooldown of a minute, so that's actually wonderful. Um, just to have an extra one. If you know enemies spawn on the other side of the tile set. This right here, defense capsule, is pretty nice. It will aggro enemies. I don't even know what the base meter aggro is for this. I think DE might have set it to like any enemy that spawned in on the map just comes towards it, which you know can speed up your runs really nicely. So it might be an alternative to Speed Nova. It does have a cooldown though. That's the only downside. I wish you could just you know spawn it in into places on the map that you're looking for enemies and they just come to you. And last but not least, conduit keys for disruption. Um, I just did the weekly Archon hunt and it had disruption, and this was very useful. I had 2 other follies on my team, and we knocked it out very quickly. So this is always great to have. So yeah, that's for 2. Um, you're going to be using these 3 for damage. You did see your damage output for Amphers and Death Orb and Coralizer. They're not too bad. Um, very situational for these 2. But you saw how powerful Arc Trap was. Like, I could literally plop one down. Hold on, let me get Roar going. It's plop one here, plop one here, plop one in the back, spawn in some enemies, and they'll pretty much die. Like, immediately. Death. Like, the scaling on this is incredible. And since they do proc electric, um, you obviously can slot in Archon Stretch, right, for more energy sustain. Right here, you could just literally put Archon Stretch in, and that would be very nice. And your Coralizer works well with Archon Flow for even more energy sustain. But that would be like energy overkill, really. I think she does a good enough job. Once you have Equilibrium on, you're good. You know, I'm just running super negative efficiency, and it felt very comfortable in longer runs paired with concentration, because literally you're going to be spamming your barrel and your one for the most part, and they don't really take that much energy, even with negative efficiency. So yeah, that is Follie in a nutshell. He did a great job with her. Um, had a few stumbles when the farm came out, but they have corrected a lot of the shortcomings. if they could just tweak the mode a little bit more, um, it'll be very nice to keep running that just to get your atrograph, so you could foil some of your mods. So that's my thoughts on Follie. Let me know what you think. And yeah, have fun playing her. She's a very nice frame. And hopefully DE cooks with the next one. I can't wait for Varuna Prime and see how she moves around on all fours like a true werewolf. So yeah. Thanks for watching.